Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 171. We are back for 171 straight weeks of San Diego soccer action. Lots happened, Chiva, over the weekend. San Diego poised to get the MLS that they have so desired, apparently, for so many years. We're going to go ahead and kind of catch everybody up as far as where everything stands right now and what this means for all soccer franchises in San Diego. We're also going to go ahead and talk about what this means for Two Balls and a Mic, what this means for the overall soccer community that has been being built here with San Diego Loyal, who travel up north to the up the 5 to the Great Orange Park, defeating Orange County 2-1 in a good matchup up there. We're going to go ahead and break that down. 15 minutes added on to that one. San Diego Wave lose at DC 3-1. Back-to-back losses. Back-to-back 3-1s. Not necessarily the best look there. Spoke with Casey Stoney over the midweek, and just kind of went over what she thought of that first half and how they could have improved for this next match. But they were met with another buzzsaw once again, missing some important players here and there. Thank you for everybody who's joining us. We have stuff here live. If you're listening on Spotify, if you're listening on Apple, don't know what's going on. Been getting reports that its volume is low. Well, you know what?
Switch to
max
Spotify.
up. Let's max. Switch to Spotify.
Switch to Spotify.
It's the best. That's the best advice we could give. No, I'm kidding. But no. So thank you for everybody who's been making this happen for us, really, for this last couple of years at this point that we've been doing this podcast. It's again, we always say we were never meant to cover so much local soccer because there really wasn't anything. Now there is a team that has come and gone, changed, rebranded, now Albion San Diego Loyal, who came over, and almost the remnants of Soccer City and everything that whole movement meant to the people that have been here for a while, right? Like, we know the individuals up to Landon Donovan, right, who has been invested here in San Diego for a good part of the last decade, just trying to get some sort of soccer started here. Now San Diego Loyal comes in, they get it going. They build something really cool, very unique, and it's what this league provides in the USL Championship. And it was new to everybody. It was new to other than Alan Underwood.
We knew
other
nothing.
than Alan Underwood, name me somebody else who was
Alan
maybe
has named DK that knew a lot of MLS.
DK.
But
Okay, shout out DK.
yeah,
Yeah,
like it's crazy because teams have gone apart, right? Like 1904 became Albion San Diego. We've seen other podcasts grow and then don't stick around as well. But this past 3 years have been a journey for sure. And to hear reports about, stuff that we already kind of reported ourselves.
we've discussed, right? So
We've talked about
yeah,
it.
if you haven't been paying attention to the Two Balls and a Mic cinematic universe, we had just this couple of episodes of San Diego.Futbol, which is the website that we do have currently on MLS. If you're interested, please buy us out. It's a good website, San Diego.Futbol.football. Like, come on. We'll make you a deal, MLS, if that's what you're needing out of this community. And you know what? We'll bring Loyal into it because, again, that's part of the discussion now, right? We've had some insider information and some sources and discuss with some stuff with the great powerful at Young the Ryan. So look, everything that was discussed kind of happened. It kind of has, and it's unraveled rather quickly.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this end of year, maybe like
December,
November, December, and then
maybe even sooner.
Nowhere, maybe even sooner. That got rocketed up earlier. Right now, actually, I sent an email over to somebody that I was connected with, hopefully to make a connection with the community, right? Because we hear that there's a lot of people who are having discussions. There are a lot of people who are having talks. Obviously, there's a lot of secrets that can't be discussed.
Yeah.
To put it in the best way possible. But from what we do know, like there's two sides to everything at this point. It'll be interesting, kind of once the dust settles, exactly what's going to happen. And so over the weekend, there was a article by the boy Zeegs on the UT, kind of reporting and um, you know what they call as more official, I guess, than three guys in a garage. But again, the information was discussed. It was good information, and from what we want essentially too is, as I sent that email, is we want to bridge that gap if there is any between people who might want to come into the city and take for granted something that's already been built. If that does mean, because, and this is kind of very, very true to the matter, right? There's another city up north that saw MLS be granted, that
Yeah.
saw MLS, here you go, and it was taken away. It went through some alchemy, and out came out San Diego Wave. And they were further in the process, I believe, than what San Diego is experiencing right now. So yes, there are groups coming in, some more poised more than others. But what I'll say is that look around, just look around. Like the signs are there. And I think that then the discussion becomes, and I think that's what kind of turned up on Twitter and social media here in San Diego when it comes to soccer, right? And this call to action now, and really hasn't been a call to action now. It's just staying true to the values and colors. And some interesting discussions were being had between supporter groups, not just of San Diego Loyal and members, but of Albion of 1904, of like, we went through this, right? And it was different because investors and money and they rebranded and you know, Albion is part of the San Diego fabric and they won. So yeah. But again, like, is this going to happen to San Diego Loyal? That's the big question where let's see. What do you think? I mean, what do you, let's reiterate. What do you want to happen to San Diego Loyal?
What I would want, like, so my personal
Yeah.
opinion on this would be
You're Alejandro Chiva,
what I would want for
millonario.
San Diego Loyal. Ideally, I would want this to involve San Diego Loyal. Personally, just because of all the people we met through this journey, right? All the people we know from the team as well. I think it would be ideal to keep the fans happy. Once you start an MLS team, you're gonna get a whole wave of new fans. A lot of people are gonna become fans, right? That are not currently involved with San Diego Loyal, and that's a sad reality. A lot of people hear USL, San Diego Loyal, and they immediately think it's not MLS. I'm not interested. It's not the top level. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And it turns them off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think something that San Diego Loyal would benefit them is maybe winning the champion. If they would have maybe won a championship last year, I feel like it would have been a whole different story now. But I would want Loyal to be the team involved moving up to MLS. But from what reports have been said, what we've talked about before on previous podcasts, it doesn't seem that way. It seems like it's not going to include San Diego Loyal, and it does suck. And a lot of people are very upset about it, and I completely understand why everyone would be upset about it.
So to quote that article, right, from Ziegler, a name for the team has not been determined, nor, and again, it's being spoken as if, it's a matter of fact, like it's here. Nor has any involvement from the San Diego Loyal, which plays in America's de facto second division and regularly sells out USD Terrero Stadium. Oh, that was nice of him. But scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Open the multiverse. Like, what is possible? MLS doesn't come into San Diego. That's still a
Oh
possibility.
yeah, for sure.
That is
for sure.
still a
I
possibility.
mean, look at Sacramento.
Is it going to happen? I wouldn't put my money on that.
I think it is going to happen.
Cool. MLS comes to San Diego. All signs point to Fort Lauderdale. Like, it's there. Then they come in. So what happens now? San Diego Loyal hace pa la chingada? Like,
Are you
go
speaking
over
like-
the, like Like we don't care. Like we'd have no involvement. We're not even gonna give you the 1904 treatment,
Oh,
and
like us?
call you
Us?
the
Are you a
La
fan?
Porra. La Porra. Are you a
Yeah.
fan of San Diego Loyal? That's gonna be the question in like 2 years
Oh,
time, right? Like, right?
yeah.
Is that gonna be the case? Um, okay. Or they're involved somehow, right? Like, even to the possibility that I know people would be like, no, like absolutely not. I wouldn't sell my soul to that. Like everything that I've heard from San Diego Loyal, again, multiple sides, is they love what they've built and they want to cultivate and harvest what has been here for the past couple
Hmm.
of years. Um, but if it comes down to it, like that's just another level. And what if it comes down to, all right, you guys will be the MLS next team?
It's gonna
Like,
come down to a point on what Andrew Vasiliadis decides, right? It's gonna come down to what they think would be the next step for them, whether if this is the only choice they have of like being involved with this MLS team, or we try to survive, we try to stay in the USL and compete and still do good, and you're still gonna get your loyal fans. But if we're realistic, they're not gonna be able to compete
yeah, and it's a
with what
good
MLS is gonna have.
it's a good point here by the good boy Andrew, host of Loyal Locals podcast. Check it out. What happened to 1904 when Loyal came in ain't even close to what MLS would mean regarding Loyal. Like, it's crazy to think that the numbers that are being thrown, right? $500 million
Hmm.
for the expansion fee.
Yeah.
That in itself, like we were explaining to somebody who doesn't follow soccer, like this entire process, and it's just real. I'm realizing, like, okay, like the signs are there, but like this is big time. Like, this is, oh my god, like, oh my
Hmm.
goodness.
Yeah.
I love everything Andrew Vasiliadis, Ricardo Campos have built, and everybody that has made a community and has loved, has uh cried. I cried. I Why not? Like, sure, like bled for the team. I was honestly jealous we had prior engagements, but I missed out on going up to Orange County on that bus.
Hmm.
Like, I 100% did, and I'm so glad that everybody just kind of maintains a spirit. There's times where the team, there's times where the supporters, there's times where we were like whatever. So we kind of lose ourselves, and we've essentially grown with the San Diego Loyal soccer movement, and you just don't want to see something like that, get crushed or get thrown to the side and or just disregarded, and that would be a shame. That would be a huge shame, and I know that for the most part, like, people would love it if they are involved somehow. Like, it just doesn't make sense monetarily, and that's something that I've always kind of scratched my head at in this learning and seeing sports people in the industry. Like,
Hmm.
it's so easy. You would print money. Like, you would literally print money if you just did this, if you just did that, if you just appealed here, if you just went. It's so easy to do, but you just don't. I mean, not to put anybody necessarily on blast, but like, for our little nonprofit organization, it's proving out to be rather tough to get people out in the community, players, teams out in the community, because there's just so
Yeah.
much red tape, and it shouldn't
Hmm.
be that. It should be a little simpler to have you be able to make more money for yourselves. Like, utilize what's already here. Why not? Like, this team is, it means something to people, and not just a couple people. It means something to people. Much like the soccer's mean to so much to people, much like any other team means a lot to you as an individual, like, for whatever it may mean or stand for. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to not necessarily consider them. With that said, none of this can matter in a couple weeks. The announcement is set to be here May 18th, 19th,
Hmm.
mid May. So whatever ends up being that announcement, whether it be, yes, we're coming in, yes, we're doing this, yes, it's official, yes, granted, um, that's left to be seen. But I mean, there's still so much left on the bone for San Diego Loyal. Like, what if this ends up happening. MLS is announced 2025. They'll play a Snapdragon. San Diego FC.
Yeah, whatever, like whatever the name
San
is.
Diego FC. Frontera. San Diego SC. Or Football Club. Football Club FCSD. That sounds like a radio station.
Football
Football Club San Diego.
But okay, this is all with that scenario. But what if they it is MLS, right? And this is a question.
Mhm.
They come in and they disregard San Diego Loyal. San Diego Loyal is on their own to do whatever they want to do, right? But what if this MLS team does start going out to the community, does start reaching out to the South Bay, does start reaching out, doing everything that we've asked for all these other teams to do, and they start doing it?
Call me a cynical person, something that Conan O'Brien asked me never to do, to be a cynical person. And I no, you okay, do it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly.
Prove me
But,
wrong. Because
okay,
right now
but
you're starting at a negative. Like,
Yeah,
you need
yeah.
to do effort to get to a 0. Why? Because you're disregarding everything that's already happened here in the city.
Yeah.
You're putting that aside. Like, that already tells me that, of course, it's a juggernaut of a thing. They don't care. Like, when you have the magnifying glass over the ants, you don't fucking care about like their whole existence as a species. No, you just, it is what it is. Oh well.
But like, so say it does start, they start building up, they go back to 0, and then they start building on that, and then it becomes like a big community team, and they're out there. How long would you say it would take fans to say, okay, I'm sold with this team?
There's people that are never going to forgive. There's people who do not want to fuck with JD Wicker, and it's like, well, I see your point. I validate your thought from SDSU, but you know what? At the end of the day, they were the winning team. Sometimes you just have to admit, like, that's the winning horse, and there's people who are never going to be okay with it. There are people who are never going to be okay with what happened if it ends up happening that Loyal isn't involved. They're never going to forgive it. Now, does this mean that San Diego Loyal poof? Do they pull an Albion? Do they unite forces? Do they become their own independence? Do they become a skateboarding brand? Because they put a lot of skateboarding and on their timelines. I've never ridden a skateboard, so I know it's one of the hardest things ever to do. Tony Hawk was with I think I do a longboard. Yeah, I did. I used to be mad skilled on the
Scooter.
razor scooters.
No te pegas en el tobillo. Oof.
Never.
Never happened to
That's
you.
how good I was. And then there's that side of things where fuck, like,
And podcast wise, Tony.
yeah, that's what I was gonna.
So I mean, MLS comes in, and we have a chance to be able to cover them just how we do everything here in San Diego, right? Soccer wise. But then there's a weekend where is San Diego MLS team and Loyal play it same day, same time. What's our? I mean, there's so much we can pay attention to, and I think we focus. If we can agree, we focus so much in the local soccer scene that, I mean, you guys can tell in the podcast we haven't talked about a Premier League as much, or MLS, or I mean, Premier League, Champions League, Liga Mexicana, and all this, because a lot of our attention and focus is on the local soccer scene.
Yeah.
Which it can get tiring to talk for hour and a half, and then all right, let's focus and break down. We're not gonna break down Champions League anymore. Because at the same time, like everybody is already seeing that, and everybody's already doing that.
What is?
But my question to you:
Yes.
what would our focus shift to? MLS? We still talk Loyal.
We're just two dudes.
We are.
We're just two dudes.
We don't get paid
that's-
for this shit.
Sometimes that's a lot. We have received opportunities to now get paid for independent work, which is really cool. Like, it's dream come true in a sense, and I'm really appreciative of all that. But what is our goal?
To get to the World Cup.
To get to the 2026 World Cup. And look, man, I think that this presents a wonderful opportunity in order to make that stepping stone. Not saying anything has been a stepping stone. I think everything has been almost like Frogger, opportunities in between cars. Like, you just hop from one place to another. Like,
And we're forever grateful for every opportunity that's been presented to us.
and I think, you know what, like we've been cordial with people who have been cordial with us. So obviously, sabes que te portas cabrón, pues somos cabrones también. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna happen. But
Simón.
at the same time, like, we want to make sure that, for me at least, it doesn't feel like the sanctity of soccer, that the thing that unites us, the sport, the that fundamental thing that we all enjoy, that just gets perverted and turned into mush, and here you go.
Mhm.
There are teams that did exactly the same thing that's happening here. Austin, St. Louis, and sabes que Austin looks awesome as hell. You cannot tell me that does not look like fun. You can't tell me that.
Valen verga, pero sí.
Vale madre, yeah, like it's fine. Like, shout out CJ, like do something about it, CJ. I challenge you. But it's just a different league almost. Literally a different league. But I think, and I would hope that people who have listened and followed us like what we bring, like what the inside stuff, because we ask the questions. Like, one of the highlights of this season, early in the season, was Darren and Jordan asking Nate Miller, incoming head coach Nate Miller, saying, "Hey, are you ready to get the hard questions? You know, when you get their post game, two balls and a mic is going to be ready for those questions." Like, yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are. Casey Stoney, yeah, we are. I wish I was able to be there and be like, "Hey, what's going on, Casey?" Wednesday we have media availability with San Diego Wave. I guaranteed either him or I, we're going to be like, "Casey,
What the heck happened?
¿qué pasó? Like, what's going on? Emily Van Egmond? That important?
that-
Like,
yeah.
are we relying on one? Like, come on." And it'll be a whole nother process of learning players, learning this, learning that. There's at the Wild Animal Park, I went and there was a brush fire in Escondido, and all the little animals with their little animal sixth sense knew it was there and started running and stampeding. It was pretty majestic. And almost in that same way, I'm just looking around. I'm like, todos los animalitos están. They're like like dogs sense earthquakes. Like, they're barking at the ground. Like, what's going on? Like, those rumblings are happening. MLS is
It's coming.
it's yeah,
Winter is coming.
it is. But I hope that we're ready, because San Diego as a media is
It's
not ready.
It's not ready.
It's
at
not
all.
ready.
It's
Look,
not ready for sure.
I would love to help facilitate conversations between people. If anybody at the in this focus group that is going to be incoming, because somebody asked me, "Hey, like, has anybody reached out to you?" Because I know people have reached out to other people, and I was like, "No, they haven't," and that really put me in a like, huh? Why haven't we? It's a really good point. But again, I really hope, and again, people get involved. Like, if this really means as much as it has meaned for us and for you guys as a community, then the best thing you can do is support what you have here, and show everybody what an asset the San Diego soccer community has been.
Yeah.
Let me get to some comments, because people are here and people are wanting to know what are the next steps, and of course, like, I'd love to be with a microphone in front of the San Diego Loyal office 24/7.
Alan's also waiting on Zoom.
Um,
We're gonna get you in.
I'm
that
sure
in a little
he
bit,
is.
Alan.
Seasons, Alan.
Because we know he's listening. He's always listening.
The ever-present Alan. If we look over here, I mean, yeah, MLS Next, the Pro League. San Diego Loyal can exist. 5K attendance is still reasonable, but I wouldn't expect Loyal to grow a huge following in Snapdragon. And that was always kind of the issue, right? Like, there were rumblings again, like, oh, Loyal's going to play a Snapdragon next season. Didn't happen, didn't pan out, but that was always in my back of my mind, like, how are they going to, fill a significant portion of that cavernous stadium at times? Because the way I'm looking at it, Chiva, Snapdragon is really cool.
It's super dope.
But it's super basic. Like, it's super basic. Like, sure, you're going to get canopies. Woo. I'll be the real judge when we watch Coldplay. I'm going to watch Coldplay live at Snapdragon. So at least we got a cool concert venue.
Antes de eso, vamos a ver a México.
And that's something that also we're working on, right? We're working on the Mexico credentials for the games that are going to be happening here.
And
And
dude,
that's just inside baseball for two balls
and
and a mic. Like
and
this
I
is
mean,
what we're still on that trajectory. Sorry,
yeah,
Chula.
and I mean, like I went to the America Cholos game at Snapdragon, right? And the atmosphere that happened was insane. And I told myself, if this is what MLS could be here in San Diego, I want it here. This is great. This is what I want to experience here in my own backyard, right? Like I want to go to a game, see this atmosphere literally 10 minutes away from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be insane. You talked to Piojo Herrera after the game, and he said it himself. This is a nice stadium. Like I would love MLS
Yeah,
to be here in
yeah.
San Diego. And you know, if there's professional people that are in soccer, whether it's I mean, Piojo Herrera's a World Cup coach, and I mean, who are we to be like? He doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. Like, dude's coached everywhere, right? So if people at that level are saying, yeah, this could very much, I can see this happening in San Diego, it's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
So that atmosphere was great. I really do want it. I really hope it involves San Diego Loyal in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day,
What's going to happen is going to happen.
our heads are going to turn that way for sure.
And I hope people are prepared to get their hearts ripped out once again if you're a Charter fan, but like prepare for it. Prepare for the worst. And that's kind of something like I've always, cared to do. And it's because then everything else is fine, right? We'll let Alan here inside in a bit. But again, there's a lot of conversations in the chat, of course, about pro rel, like how would that affect it? And it's true. Like, why not? Like, if it's San Diego's soccer capital of the city, of the U.S., that also means perhaps having a really strong MLS team and a really strong USL team. And I think right here, what Paul is saying, and I know Alan, I see you. You're radiating in your fervor. I caught that one. If AV, Ricardo, and LD's Landon Donovan's true intentions was MLS the entire time, and not build the best USL club, that then the team will fold. Like, if that really was the case, and having conversations with each of these individuals, like on a real basis, like that's something that I think I'm allowed to do a little bit. You've had these conversations off the cuff, even Alan too, just like, hey, just this and this, just guys being guys, in a soccer sense, in a real like man to man, bato bato, San Diego to San Diego, soccer fan to soccer fan, soccer player to soccer player, Landon and I, legend to legend. They're in it for the right reasons, and I really don't think that that's ever been a challenge. And I can tell you from this is personal experience that these individuals have always been gracious in everything that they've done, and true intentions has always been to represent soccer in a positive way. Have there been bumps? Have there been hiccups? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that they have never not had the best interest of San Diego soccer in mind. So, Alan, hi. After all of that,
Hey.
Hi,
like, I mean,
Alan.
there's a lot more that I mean. I'm looking at these comments, Alan. Were you in the chat? Were you reading? Like, how are you? Like, what's going on with you, Alan?
Season's greetings to you.
Oh,
So,
seasons,
all kinds of
greetings, boy.
seasons.
I like it, boy. It's catching on.
yeah, I was watching from the start of the show because I do think this is an important conversation to have, like with each other prior to any announcement, right? Like, I think the lack of any type of real community conversation around an MLS team is a little bit terrifying. But I do think there are real options for San Diego Loyal to coexist with this MLS franchise. Whether that's staying in the championship like Miami FC, or sorry, the Miami FC. I don't want to get burnt up on Twitter. Like the Miami FC and Inter Miami coexisting in Miami. Now, Miami doesn't draw very many people, but they've been a consistent team making the playoffs every year. And I think if there's a loyal, no pun intended, fan base, then I think people would appreciate that. You have Charlotte Independence, who moved from Championship to League One. Charlotte has an MLS team. Now there's some really shitty owners in Charlotte for the Independents, and quasi not great owners for the MLS squad.
Yeah.
But there's still a decent fan base there for Independence, and they're still somewhat successful. They're in the top third of USL League One right now. I do think there's some options moving forward that I think if people are looking for Loyal to fold, I think the only way that happens is something like St. Louis happens, where they promise that USL is going to the USL club will transition to MLS. Unfortunately, there was some shenanigans, but they ended up figuring it out. But Nashville was built to go to MLS from USL. Cincinnati was almost the same, but like almost a third of MLS clubs in existence today were somewhat plucked from lower league soccer, right? Seattle, Portland, Vancouver, Montreal, like Minnesota, even. They brought those traditions with them from their lower league clubs into the MLS club. And I think what a lot of people are concerned about is what you talked about, like building on the traditions, meaning reaching out to the people who put in the work first, as opposed to I'm a billionaire, I'm going to swoop in and basically say I'm going to take over this market, without realizing that San Diego isn't necessarily a place that really appreciates people coming in and taking over a market.
Yeah, and I mean that's what you're going to go ahead and battle with if that's the case of them wanting to fight it. And what I'm thinking is, if this is just very optimistic of me, which is not typical. In the best case scenario, why not have San Diego be the one place where that does work very well, right? Like, it's just so expansive where, like, you know what? You're going to get your MLS people. And I mean, that's what Andrew's saying. Like, damn, look at all the Loyal podcasts. Imagine how many will pop up for an MLS team. Like, fuck, like that's true. Like, it's a new set of challenges for me. Like, I mean,
More competition.
No, but and that's the thing. I hope that we've earned enough social credits, equity in the San Diego soccer, market to have somebody look out for us, or just recognize like, hey, those guys have something, and just kind of build on that. And ultimately, again, the goal is to make the World Cup. And so that's, part of the thing. And that's what's so hard. Hard decisions will be made. And I'm just glad that I don't have to be the one to make the hardest decisions of actually having an MLS team or not, or including the USL team or anything in that sphere. But I mean, if it's gonna work anywhere, it's gonna be San Diego, and it's possible. ¿Sabes qué? Tienes Mexico, you got Mexico down there, like not even down there, right here.
An entire community in South Bay that you can tap into. You have entire communities up in North County that you can tap into. You have the downtown area, right? So maybe MLS comes and tries to take over the downtown market, but Chula Vista Bayfront, right? They talked about, there's been talks about redeveloping the Bayfront and putting a soccer specific stadium there. And MLS was like, no thanks, but maybe Loyal does, right? Or Sockers are moving to North County to make Oceanside this kind of soccer centric location. And, maybe there's something built up there. MLS goes up there with the Sockers and Wave, and Loyal stays downtown. And, I think that there's enough space that if people are smart and willing to support local soccer, it can happen, right? Like we've had, 1904. And I think there's a lot of other things that went into why 1904 was not as successful.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. And a lot of it came from why 1904 couldn't get into USL. They wanted local ownership. They wanted people who were invested in their community to be owners. And, Aiden Hazard and Demba Ba, like amazing footballers. But, what is San Diego to them? And I think that's the question people are asking about the new ownership, right? Like, what does San Diego mean to this billionaire, this Egyptian billionaire who owns a team in the Netherlands, right? Like, is this just another opportunity to build his portfolio and to get into an MLS that's growing? And then $500 million is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can buy European teams in lower leagues and work them up to the Premier League for probably less than $500 million.
Oh yeah.
And that's just a buy-in, right? Like that's not anything to do with the club. That's like, I'm buying a franchise. I don't own a club. I own a name as part of MLS. So I think there's a lot of conversations to be had. I think there are going to be even more after a team gets announced. But I'm with you, Tony. There are clubs in town that have shown me that they're invested in the community, and I'm going to support those clubs. Like, I didn't get out to see the Sockers as much as I would have liked this year, but I was watching every game on Twitch, sometimes in Spanish because I couldn't. I mean, I don't understand a whole lot, but I want to support my friends, right?
Appreciate you.
You support Craig and what he's doing with the Sockers, and those are the people I think a lot of the diehards are going to support, and then you're going to get the average person who's just going to want to show up to an MLS match because it's MLS. But I do think there's spots for those people to coexist. Sockers have been pretty successful. San Diego's Loyal's going to have to be that successful and continue what they've been doing to continue to pull people in. But I think, Andrew was like, hey, 5K, 4K, 3K, those are like pretty decent numbers.
Yeah.
Orange County won a championship and they're pulling less than that per game.
Exactly. And so, I mean, again, I'm glad I don't have to make these decisions. And look, there's different perspectives here, like Esteban Toscano over here, content creator, and a soccer coach here in San Diego. I look at a whole lot of MLS situation as a big opportunity to recruit the best of the best in the city for the MLS team. Like, sure, like that's a valid point. Like that's a very valid point for opportunities, because people are going to flock from everywhere to San Diego for this, from everywhere. Because look, MLS versus USL, mom, pa shop, Costco, and Walmart. Like, just that's what it is, and it's a machine. People are going to come from everywhere. If we're conflicted with what we have right now with Wave, Loyal, Sockers, whoever, of like you don't identify with the San Diego just because you're not a local, you're not a San Diegan, you're not a Southern California. Like, don't expect that for MLS. If it happens, great. But again, this is another opportunity for local people to, just empower yourselves, put yourself in a position to where you've become an asset to soccer in San Diego, because that's the one thing that needs to always remain. It's just the game, man. Like, it's just the game. And how we experience it is, and where we experience it, that should be like point B. Like, point A is always the game, enjoying it, growing the sport, and just having a good old time. There's just so many facets to this, and as it develops, like, as we find stuff out too, because it's getting to the point where people tell us things and I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to know that. So now I just kind of block my whole mind of anything that I was told to me. So it's just like, not as to say, oh, this person, oh no, like, oh no, like, put it back in. No.
And I think that's the thing too, when looking at like St. Louis, is I think the ownership came in and it was the wrong type of ownership. And I think there was some pushback from the community, and that's something that Loyal fans, if they really want Loyal to be involved in this MLS bid, like, they vote with their pocketbook, they communicate, they kind of demand that this is what they would like to happen. And who knows, right? Like, there could be an instance where they launch, these are the owners, this is the plan. And then talking to the community, they're like, oh, hold up a minute. Like, let's engage with these supporters. Let's bring in the owner as a minority share owner. Like, there are things that you can do, I think, to make it right. And you have time, you have a landing pad, or a landing strip, right? 2025. Like, you go out into the community and you try to do the right thing and you talk to the right people. There is a chance to change this if you don't like it when it first starts. But, people are going to have to be vocal and demand what they want to demand from the club. And if it happens, then, by all means, support MLS. Go for it. Like, sure. If you don't get what you want, then vote with your pocketbook. Support the club that you want to support.
Which it could be San Diego Loyal, which also had a match this weekend.
Did they? I hardly noticed after and, and again, I feel bad. I've been reached out from the club of like every time, again, not to self-aggrandize, but every time you guys talk about MLS to San Diego, like I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna be like having these calls. It's gonna be this type of day today. Like they don't want to hear it. They want to focus on here now, win a championship, go. That's best case scenario, at least for right now, is this team going on and winning a championship for themselves. Because to be honest, they did book a pretty good team here. A lot that are injured actually, but overall, I think it's going to be. I want to know already, but I don't. The moment things get announced and the moment San Diego Loyal season ends, that moment of knowing, well, this is what's going to happen. Like, season ended for San Diego Loyal. See you next year, or good job, or congratulations, you guys are champions, as the last act that they've ever done, or I don't know, man. I'm everything is a possibility, right? And I think it's hard to ignore where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's a lot of fire and smoke.
Do you think there'd be a press conference for it, or do you think it's just gonna be bam
Are
announced
we gonna be
article
invited?
for this type of things, Alan? Do you know if it's normally like press conference and they have a whole thing, or is it just boom announced article?
No. It'll be a press conference.
Press conference, right?
Yeah.
I would assume so, right? Like, I think you want to start with a bang as opposed to a press release, right?
I sure hope so.
But I mean, yeah, maybe San Diego Loyal does. I think it was San Francisco Deltas was they won a championship and then immediately folded. Like, they went out, were like, dropped the mic, never to be heard of from again. And I think their league folded right not too long after that. But while we still have them, as long as we still have them, like, let's celebrate what happened, right? It was not the prettiest of wins, but it was 3 points on the road. Like, you got to shout that out. Like, I know you just pulled up the Chicano Federation thing. Like, they're doing good work. There's
in the community.
A lot of good stuff happening. There were several. It seemed like 3,000 loyal fans at Orange County. It wasn't really that much, but it really felt.
It looked like it.
It looked like it. It felt like it. And San Diego played a really gutsy away game in Orange County, right? I think in the last 8 matches, there's been 4 red cards, and 3 of them were to loyal players.
Yeah.
I was surprised it waited so long to get chippy. Like, I was like, oh, it's like, it's going all right. It's not super physical like it normally is. And then the second half happened. Mm-hmm. But overall, like, I think a lot of people were happy with the trip. I think a lot of people were pretty happy with the results. I was, Milanowski getting an assist instead of a goal away from predicting, the right thing happening this match. But anytime Loyal go on the road and get 3 points against a Western Conference team, you take that every single time.
And it was a team that, we were looking at the standings, right? Like, that doesn't matter in these games. And it's cool because it's one of those games now that it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be, you're 2-0 up and you're not really comfortable at all. And, it's one of those matches where I think, and Nate said it well, like, they came out guns a-blazing. This is the first game where they train after last match where they hadn't trained in 10 days. I think you remember hearing that, right, Alan? During the press conference? Yeah, so San Diego Loyal hadn't trained in 10 days. They have that match here at home. They get some training. They get some rest. Now they regroup, go up to Orange County, and in the first 30 seconds, right, Ronaldo shows you that, like, all right, like, this is
I want to score against my whole team.
Yeah, that's always great.
Yeah,
like, the way he played that ball with his head was like an act of brilliance.
It just shows you the IQ that he has, right? We haven't really seen the full potential of Damus yet, but I think as the season winds down, as it keeps going, we're going to start seeing more and more of this talent developing, and eventually he's going to start scoring more goals as well.
I mean, there's people who are calling for his benching, and sure, but you kind of need to. This is how when you go get a smog check and your car's not going to pass a smog check and they turn off the check engine, it doesn't turn off immediately. They tell you to run it. And after like a good 200 miles, boom, the check engine will turn off if it's done right. So I think there's a situation with Damas where he needs to get some miles in. Like he needs to, kind of just, it's painful at times just because we know what he's capable of, but just, just let him cook. Let him cook. Do you understand that one, Alan? Let him cook.
I understand that that's what some of the kids say.
Did you not know that Tony's one of the kids?
Hello, fellow kids.
I do think I think there are things that he did in this game that maybe don't show up on a stat sheet. Orange County really put them in a lot of pressure in the second half, and Ronaldo was able to hold up the ball, was able to be a target up top, was able to stretch and put the defense under pressure. But it's like, who do you bench him for?
Yeah,
right?
everybody's hurt.
Collier's out, Conway's out until next week. And then he gets an assist, right? He's not scoring goals, but he gets this lovely assist to Toomey. Toomey scores his second goal in 2 games. The injured quartet of people who were under the tunnel after the game were bringing back Darren's Toomey time call, which made me laugh.
Jordan, yes.
Collier.
Who's this
Blake
guy?
Bodley.
Who is this guy? Like that guy. Like who is that guy? If you're here, please, like, if we haven't met, I'm sorry. If we have met, I'm even more sorry. But like, hell yeah! Like, what a
Like, he's just
hamming it up.
We are, dog.
Like, girl's happy, he's happy. Don't want to assume anything. Might be a sister or something. Toomey's happy. Corona, Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, but I agree. You don't bench Damus. Just a player that electric has to stay on the field. Has to be a start. And like you guys are saying, there's players that are injured. There's no one else to play right now. But it was a great first half, and that's what Nate Miller said, right? The first half in general went really good.
Sorry. You okay?
You know what, Tony?
Yes, Nate Miller did. I agree with Nate Miller, as you said, that the first half was electric for them, and they did come out guns a-blazing. But, I mean, again, this is a team that is deep, and we were told that the depth was better than it has been in the past, and I guess it's getting put to the test, right? Like, this is what you essentially build this team for, especially with the miles they're about to hit in this away stretch. But first 15 minutes, you get yourself a goal. San Diego Loyal, I think that's what they would have hoped for. Just first quick strike and let's get this going, control this match, right?
Yeah, especially on the road. I think it's really important to get the game off. There's a coaching change. So Orange County is going to be
midweek.
Yeah, is going to be up for it, right? Like they want to start out the new coach's career with a win, like what happened last time when they fired a coach right before a San Diego Loyal match. And between Ronaldo Damas almost scoring and him assisting in this Toomey Moshapani goal at 15 minutes, I think San Diego was going the right direction. They were really pushing the pace. They were putting Orange County under pressure, and most importantly, they were taking advantage of Orange County's mistakes and being clinical and finishing. Right, like we've seen this team turn over teams and then waste goals, and it come back to bite them. And they got pretty close this time, but luckily they were able to come out hot and then kind of survive for the rest of the match. I think, Orange County made a couple bonehead plays that led up to the first goal and the second goal. And Orange County probably is kicking themselves now because they probably could have gotten at least a point out of this, if not more, right? They hit a post. They had some nice moments where they were really putting San Diego a lot of pressure, but weren't really finishing. San Diego did. And that's great because that was something that they've struggled with in the past.
And then you get the second goal off of a play. I mean, I love taking plays all the way back to see exactly where they started. And you were talking about this, right? It's not on the score sheet, but important, right? Like this ball is a foul at midfield. Ronaldo hustles, gets the ball, stops it, camera cuts to Nate Miller clapping. He's very happy with the body armor flavor today. Like it's fantastic. um, and then it just quick cuts over into, and you see the side official just running and dashing, make sure everybody's on sides. Nick Mood, fantastic control with the chest, and then goes into the box, gets fouled. And I like what the referee did here. That's a late call for a penalty, but he just said, let him play. Let's see where this leads. If it's a goal, it's a goal. If not, I already know this is a penalty. So I really appreciate that officiating. So Nick Moon goes down here, 56, 57, 58, 59. And then he's like, all right, 4 or 5 seconds. There you go. There's your foul.
We saw something like this happen at one of the UPSL matches that we did, where the ref called the penalty, and then right after, like second after, it would have been a goal, and they scored, and the ref called the penalty first. So yeah, I agree. Props to the ref for waiting 5-6 seconds to see if maybe Nick Moon's able to get a shot off. It was a right call as well.
Yeah, this ref was very consistently calling and allowing for play to continue. Now, sometimes I think maybe he let the play continue too long, and you forgot what the foul was by the time.
Yeah.
And Nick Moon, has a complaint that he's being pulled, and I think if he goes down with the original pull, it's not a PK, but it's a red card.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the foul that actually occurs is Villanueva is going for the ball and attempting to play the ball and trips him. And so I think the referee also is really, unfortunately for San Diego fans, I think they wanted red.
Mm-hmm.
I think was actually made the right determination here that it was a trip trying to play the ball or attempting to play the ball. And was a penalty and a yellow card, not a red card. I think it was a really a good sequence for him, which wasn't always the case for this game. I think both sides were unhappy with the way he was calling the match, but I think he was 100% correct on this sequence.
And then just like the little details of this, right? The play of Nick Moon controlling it with the chest very well, and then protecting the ball over on his right side. It's clear that he has somebody on his left. He knows that person is there. So you're going to force him to go the length of you and either go through you or do an amazing play to get the ball out. But again, it's that awareness to make sure to keep this ball close enough to where I may be able to shoot if there's no contact. If there is, let's go. So just overall, it's and keep playing to the whistle. Like keep playing to the whistle. So that was very well done there.
And if my memory serves me correct, it was Joe Corona who took the quick free kick. And that's, that's what Loyal's been doing a lot this season is dead balls are quickly returned into play, mostly on throw-ins. Although some set pieces you have to stop because the referee wants you to do whatever. But this was really heads up play by Joe Corona to put a really nice ball. And, later on, Charlie Adams goes down, but I think having a guy like Joe Corona on the pitch, you don't miss him as much. You still miss him, but you still have a guy who can deliver the ball and then can take over. Charlie Adams was a PK taker for a while, and I think this is a really well taken PK for him too.
And Nick Moon has been doing this already. We've seen him get penalties before as well. I'm just glad Guido wasn't the one shooting penalties. He wasn't on the field yet, so.
So yeah, I mean, the refs saw our Open Cup match. Maybe just felt bad for us. Like, yeah, no, they're like, here you go. But ultimately, San Diego Loyal get a penalty off of that Nick Moon opportunity. Great heads up play. And as you guys are saying, Joe Corona steps up here and absolutely laces it into the nets. Nothing for anybody to do there. It was a really good penalty shot.
And I believe that's his first of the season, right? Like USL season?
Yes. The previous 2 goals were both in the Open Cup.
Yeah.
And then he goes over, I think this is the coolest part, like immediately starts celebrating with the San Diego fans who showed up. Like it was really loud. And at this point, right, you have a 2-0 lead on the road. You start playing a little bit more pragmatic, right? Like you're not going to go and spread yourself out to get Orange County to beat you, right? You got a guy like,
oh no, the kid, watch out.
Brian Olaski. He guesses right even.
Yeah, he does.
It's just a really nice placed penalty. It's
Sound effect. I love
Yeah,
it.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's typically either you choose up, side, on the bottom, you just kind of dive in the middle, just hoping that you're able to react. But if you roof it like that, there's just no stopping that. Even if you guess it, you have to be guessing up here and have that momentum to fly all the way up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a really cool visual too to see everybody who traveled up there. And again, I missed out. 100%. I missed out going up there. Had prior engagements, but look, take that like and bottle it. Like that's if there's something that we can present to people in the higher powers that be, like just bottle that and just present it. Like, look, this is what we have. It's not much, but it's a hard day's work, Um, but it was a good turnout there, and I mean with something we were talking about with what ended up happening later. Like it's just the dynamics of having a game where there's no audience, where there's no fans, no supporters, compared to a match where you do have supporters and everybody's there and it's just pretty packed. For what ended up happening later in the matchup, where unfortunately San Diego Loyal is once again involved in some sort of controversy and unfortunate stuff that happened. Orange County did release a statement, which, good. And I think overall, and we'll kind of play kind of what happened here in a bit, yielded a 15-minute at a time for this matchup. I've never seen 15 minutes ever. Like that was shocking, but yeah, let's kind of show what the lead up was, right? If you're okay with that, Alan.
Sure.
Yay.
Thomas. Free kick. That's a card. There's a lot after that. Brian Olowski got the initial step in. Now there's five loyal players.
So what we're seeing right now is just a hard foul on Damas. 50.
Which was the second one in this
Yes.
in this sequence, right?
Yes.
And this was also after the ref was like, this guy no more earlier, right? So
Yes.
he's basically saying anyone who fouls this guy hard is going to get a yellow card. And there were two. The two of the yellow cards from Orange County were for the two fouls in the sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And so what unfolded there is kind of just confusion, right? Because obviously you have, a clearing of the benches of per se, where everybody comes out and is shoving each other and it's a scrum, and it happens in every sport, any team sport, disagreements with everybody, looking out for your guy, your pal, your teammate. But then some extracurriculars ended up happening later on. Just it was unclear on the broadcast. I think the announcers were confused, as they should. And again, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about, right? Like when something like this happened, something was said in the Phoenix game, it was literally like Alan, me, Andrew Vasiliadis, and the team. And, everything was kind of said. But at this point, like, you have fans there. But I think overall, after seeing everything, how it unfolded, how the referee handled this, how the teams handled it, it's an unfortunate situation where I think it was it confirmed, Alan? It was a slur that was utilized.
Yes.
Okay.
I spoke with a source, if you will,
I love
after the
that.
match, who confirmed that it was a homophobic slur. And if you watch the video, it looks as if it was levied at Stoneman, not at Colin Martin, right? There was some early talk about it was levied toward Colin Martin, but I believe it was in the direction of Grant Stoneman. Orange County has not confirmed the player, and so I'm not going to speculate on who it might be that I was able to confirm. I'm going to wait for the team to put out Orange County to put out another statement.
Do you think
I
they will?
appreciate that both coaches got together,
Yes.
were able to discuss, the teams were able to discuss. At first, I thought it was the ref just kind of letting the game kind of calm down a little bit. It was getting
throw some water on
really
it.
heated. And he was like, "Hey, everyone, go take a timeout." But it was very obvious when things didn't start back up again that there was something more. And up in the press box, there was very little information coming up. It wasn't until the end of the match that some of the Orange County front office people started talking. They were able to confer with the ref and the USL official. You can see him standing off to the right in the video. You've seen him at some of the Loyal matches as well.
Yeah.
In this video right now, he's kind of off to the left and he makes his way kind of in the middle. Really good guy, lives kind of North County. He was, a chat with him after the match about what had happened. It was clear that the referees were talking, the league is aware, and then the front office were talking that night about how to handle this. So a little bit different than the last time we saw this in a match with San Diego. They subbed off the player who made the alleged comment, and we'll just wait to see what happens. I doubt. I mean, the way that Stoneman and Elijah Martin and Colin Martin reacted, I would doubt that was made up. Right? There were several people reacting kind of independently from one another. Right? It wasn't like Stoneman telling other folks. Like Elijah Martin heard it, Stoneman heard it, Colin heard it, and so hopefully the player fesses up to it. There's some sort of punishment for said player, and then he's able to try to make things right however he can. But you saw when it was like 56th minute when it happens, and it's now the 64th, almost 65th, almost 66th minute actually. By the time things start to come back to normal. And so it was about 10 minutes for just this stoppage, and there were several others throughout the rest of the match that we were guessing that it would be well past 10 before of stoppage time.
And then I see a comment here that no way that they out their own player for something they're okay with. I mean, I really don't think anybody was okay with what transpired, because at the end of the day, right, like I always reel things back to soccer, right? It costs your team essentially substitution.
3 substitutions.
Right? 3 substitutions. Like it costs your team. So
you can go back and look at the names that were subbed off, and just from there pick which one you think said it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean go pick and say, oh, this guy did it on a whim. Like, no, just I've having experienced this in person for the Phoenix game, as you did also, Alan. I think this situation was handled well, and I think the best way I can say was with the body language of the center official, the officiating crew. And this is very rare of me to give USL officiating crews credit. It was handled with compassion. It was handled well. There was times where stuff needed to get sorted out, because clearly there's yellow cards for the foul, there's yellow cards for pushing, there's yellow cards for this. The machine of soccer needs to go first here, and at times, like, you can see the ref just pushing some of the loyal players away. Like, I know, like, I need to get to this. Like, I need to do this. I know, I'm very well aware. I know what happened. I know who said it. Let me discuss this. And you know what? If that's what change looks like, then I'm on board with that. So 15 minutes for that. Yeah, Alan.
And I can understand why a ref doesn't want to give a red card for something he might not have heard.
Yeah.
And I mean, whatever, like, hopefully the truth comes out and there is punishment after the fact. The player is suspended pending an investigation. So, he was removed from the game, which what red card would have done. He was suspended for the foreseeable future, which is what a red card would have done. And so, for a brand new coach to be put in that position, to be willing to work, the teams work together to come to a consensus on how they should handle it. It's a step in the right direction, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see what the repercussions are afterwards. Let's see what the investigation determines and what the punishment is before we, get up in arms about anything. I think if nothing happens, I think there's a different response, but let's let the investigation play out before we get super mad. And I know there are quite a few Orange County fans who are just as upset and don't want that player to be on the team if that's what he did. Orange County, the fans that I was able to chat with have, zero tolerance for this. They don't want that on the pitch either. Obviously, this player thinks that kind of language is okay, and he's going to have to suffer some consequences. But I think that there's a good chunk of Orange County fans who also don't want to see that on the pitch either, right? Like, I think that's fair. I think that's fair by the way the Orange County players reacted as well. Like, they're going over there and talking and communicating. And so let's not like also paint them with a brush of them trying to protect. Now, if they were, then by all means go after them. But I think there's a good chunk of them that are just as upset.
It just goes to show us as well, right, that the OC fans also are in the same boat, and this is what the USL gives you. Like, if they're going to start moving forward with this and there's going to be consequences, you hope this happens in all leagues when it comes to soccer, not just in the U.S., worldwide as well. It's been too often where they just brush things away and they say, well, there's going to be a punishment and nothing ever happens and everyone moves on.
Look, man, Mexico's facing a possible 2-year suspension from wherever for like everything. That's my thing. Look, tradition. Look, quieras. Like if you say it, if you don't, like at the end of the game, at the end of the game, you're costing your team that you're supporting, in a sense. And if that's the only reason why you're gonna stop saying it, then fuck it, let that be the reason. But there's better ways to show support for your team, and overall, like I think. Other than some banter back and forth on what actually happened on the field between a couple of the locals and OC supporters after the match. Looking at you, Jason. Good job staying strong against the OC supporters up there. But I mean, it's a step in the right direction in general. So look, kudos for that. I mean, I was gonna put zero tolerance policy. That's what you want to see. Obviously, PR teams are scrambling. Like, this is what they're made for. Like, this is their Super Bowl. And so, boom, put this out there, and we'll see what ends up happening with this. And you know what? At the end of the day, San Diego Loyal win 2-1.
Yeah, and down a man too, right? Like,
Yeah.
Nick Moon, probably not the smartest foul there.
Yeah.
But he's guarding. I mean, probably one of the few bright spots outside of Milanowski is Osundina. He is a handful. He's quick. He's skillful. He's young. He's the kind of guy that Orange County's bringing in to sell on to Europe later versus, this is what Orange County's model is sign young kids, develop them, and move them on. And he is super talented. He was giving San Diego fits toward the end of the game. And, Nick Boone, makes a boneheaded play. It's a yellow card, right? Like, I don't think anyone can complain. Player beats him. He reaches out, grabs him. Player goes down. You got to be smarter about that, right? And then that's what sets up the free kick that the kid scores on, right? Like, he's good and he's smart for how young he is. And he is Orange County's. He's Orange County's Nick Moon, right? Like, he's doing to Nick Moon what Nick Moon does to pretty much everyone else in the league. It's a pretty good ball in. It's headed really well. Koke has really no chance to get to it. He can do a fake dive like some goalkeepers do who have no business getting to that ball, but them holding on to this one down a man under the circumstances of playing like 4,000 minutes of really hard fought soccer, like, you have to be happy. I think, going into this one, like, this is what I thought, 2-1, right? Like, there's going to be goals. Orange County is going to get at least one, right? Like, have enough talent on the pitch to be able to score. But I think this is another example of San Diego maybe not playing the best game, but getting out in front, hunkering down, being able to defend, keep a clean sheet for 96 minutes is a lot to ask. And then, you give up a set piece goal, which, Orange County is not known for their set piece goals this year. They give up one. and then they were able to hold on and get out of there with 3 points. And like I said, you got to be happy with that. And it's on to, a next home game against RGV.
And again, the images, shout out to everybody who made the trip up there. Support local soccer, guys. Koke's favorite scarf, apparently. Just it's the families, the people who make this an event, right? Like they plan their lives around this, to go up there and hang out with Elijah, right? Like I think of it like how many things has Elijah signed for people that he's signed?
His
Like
signatures already
people are running
everywhere.
out of stuff for this team to sign, and they're just so generous with their signatures and their time. That's like
I'm just curious if you already have his signature, do you still keep getting it?
it'd be a cool running joke if you like have one thing like they sign,
It's just
like that, like
it's him.
like here,
Saucy's
Elijah,
signature.
I need you to sign my hat, and then next game, hey, I need you to sign this hat again, Elijah. Oh, Elijah, can you sign this bottom, Elijah? And then Koke, or I don't know, Camden comes up like, hey guys, like no, Elijah.
It was Elijah.
I mean, it was also like they also took time. There's a bunch of kids hanging out from Orange County, and they took time to talk to them, invite them out to a San Diego Loyal game. Ronaldo Damas giving his kit to an Orange County fan because they still absolutely love him. There was an Orange County fan who came over during halftime and showed off his Ronaldo Damas tattoo.
Dope.
So they're out there like giving their time even to fans of not their team to try and grow the sport, right? And that's, Cam Riley was out there, Elijah Martin, like they were all out there. Toomey was signing. And so they're just taking their time to really grow the sport, which is great. And that's what you want to see. The San Diego WeAre was super loud and was like goosebumpy after that hard fought match. And, this is what this team is about. And it's, enjoy the ride, right? Like, regardless of what's going to happen down the road, like enjoy these moments. Because it was a home away from home almost, and getting to see some folks I haven't said hi to in a while in Orange County. They gave me a hard time because my pass had an Orange County badge on it. Sorry, that's what happens when you go to away matches. But it was loud. It was fun. It was an entertaining match, marred by a few moments of grossness. But these Orange County San Diego matches have been really fun and really entertaining over the past couple of years, and so it was another good one.
Yeah, now San Diego Loyal have to face at home RGV, and RGV that hasn't been doing too well. They're sitting 10th place right now. They have one win in the season. Alan, should this be an easy game or is this a trap game for Loyal?
You're the one that tells us that, like, oh no, watch out for this team because they're deceiving. And watch out. Is this a deceiving team, Alan? RGV with one win.
I mean, I got in trouble because I said RGV is like the girlfriend that you keep coming back to that says they won't hurt you this time, and they always do. And I got a lot of crap for that because RGV has had success in the past and been a playoff team in the past. They were up 2-0 against New Mexico United, and New Mexico United scored 2 stoppage time goals to draw against RGV this past weekend.
They've done that to Loyal before.
I think this is the answer is you can't sleep on any team in the West, right? Like you look at the standings and, this Orange County team that on paper you'd be like, oh, they're bad. 9 games, 6 points, -6 goal differential. And it took everything San Diego had to get 3 points on the road in this one. RGV not doing terribly well on the road, 3 games, 4 points. So don't overlook them, right? You got to bring your A game. You got to play hard. I don't think there's any team that you want to sleep on in the West, including Las Vegas. I think Conway coming back is going to be a huge boost. It's going to be nice to see him back out there. And I think that's going to be a big difference in this one, that they're just going to have a little bit more offensive firepower. And, San Diego's let in some goals over the past, couple games. And so they just need to kind of re-solidify that back line. I think with the guys coming back and being solid in the back and getting a whole nother week to prepare, I think it should be like a 3-1, 2-0 victory. I think it'll be a fun one to be back. But I think if they're I mean, there's not really a team like it's Miami FC on the road in a week. So it's not like you have a huge matchup looming that you might overlook them.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on them, play your game, and I think you can win.
Tony, what do you think?
That's simple. I mean, it's a simple recipe, right? But we know San Diego Loyal likes to make it exciting. Again, you're talking about Evan Conway coming back, but there's still a lot of questions, injuries on this team, right? And so you have a team that's been playing well. They've been able to last. Joe Corona played 120 minutes back to back. Like he ran so much that I think if this continues and they're able to maintain pace, I think this should be a good showing and just a reminder of what this offense could have been, because I think we've seen glimpses of what the offense could be with Conway, with Ronaldo out there, and just kind of working it together and feeling each other out and really becoming solid and building that chemistry. And I don't think that chemistry was necessarily cultivated or harnessed because of the different combinations during the Open Cup, right? You have Collier and Perez out there, then you switch them out, then you have different looks, and I think this is the beginning of where you really want to start looking into what that starting 11 is going to look like, right, for the foreseeable future. No more Open Cups, no more anything. Focus on the league, focus on this season, and I think this can be a start to really show what this San Diego Loyal team is and what the play style, what their philosophy, what their true colors are. And so if that's the case, then no better time than to do it at home. You're a good team at home, so I'll agree with you on that. I don't think they'll figure out the offense just quite yet. 1-0, just 1-0 clean sheet. Here you go. It's a victory for San Diego Loyal.
Another clean sheet.
Another clean sheet at home. Why not?
Okay. I do think they're going to win. I think San Diego Loyal plays their best when they're well rested, especially at home on a 7 p.m. match, Saturday, 7 p.m. That's usually when we see their best of them. I'm going to go with the win as well. I think Damos gets a brace in this one for sure. Like, I think he gets on the score sheet. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win.
Oh, okay. So I think overall, we all think that San Diego Loyal is going to win this weekend and go get out there. I mean, it's weird, this little team, what it's given to the community. Like March 3rd, 2020, between then and whenever the fuck it came back, like people were missing it. There was nothing to cheer for. There was really nothing. Like people were just
we're watching
freaking
freaking marble races.
Like we were
during COVID.
We were, in a different time and place. And I think that for everything
Zoom watch party
that's happened with San Diego Loyal, I think it earned at least the respect to give it that chance and bring somebody else. Like that's the point. Like bring somebody else. If you're listening to this, you either know soccer, have been to a San Diego Loyal game. If not, thank you, but go for it. Like I'll buy you a lemonade. Let me know if you've never been to. Like we'll hook you up. But yeah, I mean it's
I got a ticket to give away. So if someone wants a 109 ticket, I can give you a 109 ticket.
There you go.
Ticket giveaway.
Oh look, our thing does this now. I think. So now it's not the default. Like we control with the press of a button. Like. Get your ticket.
Very nice.
For San Diego Loyal. Almost
Get up,
for you, Alan.
Yeah, unfortunately, I will not be able to make this one. I have a lovely date night with Sarah that night.
I hope that's your wife. No, I know it's your wife.
We were trying to get to a place, and the only time they had reservations was 7:30 on Saturday. So I was like, I'll miss RGV for this experience.
Better be worth it. Better be worth it.
It's an omakase at a sushi restaurant. Like one of the ones that recently got a Michelin star. So we're gonna live it up.
Let me know what the bill is, because I
let me know too.
Yeah, let us know how much it is.
And if it's worth going.
And if it's worth going, that too. Like yeah. I shared what
apparently it's like the head chef. We're gonna sit at the sushi bar. The head chef is gonna do it. So we're pretty stoked. And so I wouldn't miss a Loyal match for anything like pedestrian. Like this was like, hey, there's this evening. Cheesecake Factory. Yes, I'm going to be missing. It's the only reservation they had at the Cheesecake Factory.
I think Andrew shares our take here. 5-0 San Diego.
Maybe
All
6.
right, maybe 6. How many rolls will you be having? Is it just whatever they put in front of you?
It's whatever they put in front of you.
Oh, that's exciting. Let us know how
Just
that goes.
As a former sushi chef myself, I don't know if did you know that, Alan?
I did. It was
That's
on
right.
a previous podcast.
Yes. So, just word to the wise: do not shake your sushi. Like if you put it and you dip it into the soy, just don't shake it. Shaking is for the bathroom. Okay.
Got it.
Just
Got it.
Noted.
Roll it over. The soy sauce goes on the fish, not on the rice. Like all of that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then make sure you bow incredibly deeply after every roll. Even if they look weird at you, and they ask you, "What are you doing?" Just do it. Like it'll solidify.
We've done it once before, and the only thing I didn't like was the sea urchin. I was not a fan. It was fresh.
Not part of you're not of the umami. You don't like the umami of the sea urchin.
It was like too much. It tastes like I'm like a weird texture person, and it had the wrong texture and wrong flavor for me. I get why people like it. Fine, by all means, but not my. That was the only thing that wasn't my jam. I ate everything else.
Well, I wish you a urchinless meal this weekend. Hey, maybe you try the urchin that just changes your mind, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you put it in front of me, I'm probably gonna eat it. Like,
Just start shaking.
you only live once, right? And I'm gonna shake it. I'm gonna shake that one. That's the only one I'm gonna shake. Gentlemen, I appreciate the all of the chat and the job that you guys do on behalf of San Diego Soccer. Go 1904 Albion. Go Inter San Diego.
Yeah.
Your
go
mom,
loyal.
your mom's, your girlfriend's favorite soccer team. That's their tagline. Did you know that? That's San
did
Diego
not.
Internacional. Your girlfriend's favorite soccer team.
I did not. If I had a girlfriend, that might be true, but I do not. So, and hopefully Wave turn it around. We want to see them to perform well as well.
Hopefully.
I agree with that. On that note, thank you, Alan. We will
Enjoy your
see
date
you
night.
soon. Maybe we'll have soccer news later on. That just turns this upside down. But thank you, Alan. We'll catch you on the next one. Appreciate you. Bye.
A guy.
Now, speaking of turning the tide, San Diego Wave.
Oh man, another 3-1 defeat.
No, I don't. Let's try this again. Now turning the tide, San Diego Wave. The tide.
Yeah,
Wave.
I get it.
They need to turn the tide. San Diego Wave.
Crashed down.
Just listen to Casey Stoney. On
She
this
looked
one.
so frustrated.
Just listen to this. Well, listen to it if I can play it.
You muted on there.
Yeah, because I don't want Alan to infiltrate again. Casey?
Yeah, I think hard to really express. I think we started the brightest I've seen us start all season and for a while. We go 1-0 up and then really sloppy errors let.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was pretty much what happened in a nutshell, right? So, San Diego Wave have been playing really well. Like, they have been showing that they are a quality team that can field a decent 11, really good 11, even with some of the stars missing.
It's Evan Van Etmond, dude. Like, you don't have her on that 6th position, and your midfield essentially just kind of, like, dies down. Like, I think Galapago is great, but she needs the help of Van Egmond in that midfield as well. All the goals happened in the second half, which doesn't happen. And again, it was the camera work from this game.
Yeah, this isn't us, by the way.
Yeah,
this
it's
isn't
not
us.
It was them.
I
I
pay
don't
for
know
the
if
internet.
it was windy. But the first goal, just a through ball for Rodman, and
You know who she is, right?
yes,
Who?
Dennis Rodman's daughter.
Just making sure.
I told you this last season. You're like, there's no way.
That was me.
Nah.
I told you.
I told you this.
No, you didn't.
I remember.
I
But
told you.
Westphal tries to slide and get the ball, and it's like a short slide where she just kind of fell and didn't slide. If you want to pull up that one, it's in the second half, Tony, so we can see it.
Sorry, I was showing off my Chavos at Loyal shirt. Get yours.
Which I think we're gonna be giving one away tomorrow.
Should we tell them what tomorrow is real quick?
Real quick. It's supposed to happen.
It's supposed to happen.
We're gonna be giving one of those shirts away tomorrow. We're gonna be having Presidente Kevin joining us in
Live.
studio for a live segment of Chelas con Chavos, where we're gonna get down with him. Not get down.
I can take them on. I've told
You guys should
many
arm
people.
wrestle.
Bato, I don't want to break my own table.
Oh man. But yeah, check us out. We're gonna be going live around 7 p.m. tomorrow, 7:15, depending on time. But yeah, Presidente Kevin will be joining us, giving us his perspective on everything that's been going on with San Diego Loyal, his thoughts on MLS as a supporter for president of the supporters of Chavos the Loyal. But yeah, check that one out. It's gonna be exciting. I'm excited to have someone in studio again.
Former sushi chef, end of the season party at Tony's house.
No.
If you buy the ingredients, I'll consider it. It's a lot of product from the ocean. Speaking of ocean, San Diego Wave. So Rodman tearing this team up. You know, it was another trip to DC that is to be forgettable just because they haven't done very well per se. But it was a good first half, and that's the issue, right? You can't just lose steam because you'll get punished for it. Morgan gets the goal at the end, but again, I think Casey was right with it just being silly little mistakes. And again, you can't really rely on one player's play. You have here like a chance where you should have had a little bit more support from anybody with Morgan there. Just absolutely destroying people.
And it's one of those games where she just didn't get the support that she sometimes needs, right? It can't just be all on her and Jaden Shaw. Amira Lee gets a goal in the second half as well. It's offsides. But ideally, you need to be able to have a full team and everyone being on their A game. You can't just rely on Alex Morgan. Your defense has to be. This was probably the worst defensive game I've ever seen for San Diego Wave.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see the through ball here. Westphal tries to slide, and it's just Rodman just gets there first and time wrong. And that goal just kind of, you can see how it demoralized Wave a little bit, which we hardly see that. We usually see them bounce back, and you've asked it to Casey Stoney where, hey, like, what can you tell us about the resilience of your team? Being down 1 or 2 goals and you managed to come back. We can tell she should have slid with the left leg up front.
Or just
keep running. Like first,
like
you're not lined up with your back line at all. And I get it. Rodman is good. She's fast. She's pacey. But that's the wrong slide tackle. You don't make that play there as a defender, and
at least foul her.
We hardly see Westphal make those mistakes, and you've shouted her out before where she manages to play literally almost every single minute in the season. But it was just a mistake after mistake. I think the second goal, I think it might have been the third goal where I believe Sheridan just messed up coming out in the corner kick, but I think at this point, Westphal was pushing up too much, and they just got caught off guard. And it's a great shot that it's going to go in. Nothing Sheridan could have done on that one. And at that point, what? Shaking your head a little bit.
I could have stopped that one.
I really do feel like every time there's a shot that you're like, I can stop that.
I could have stopped
like, do you
that
see that in like Premier League, Liga MX, anywhere you watch Chelsea game, you're like, I would have blocked that.
Sometimes, but the I don't know. I think the words will stop now, or else Tony's gonna get in trouble. But yeah, so that's the second goal right there, and then moving it up to that third goal. Yeah. So
as a goalkeeper, you gotta make sure you're timing those crosses right. There's no reason why any player should beat you in the small box.
Yeah, no, exactly. You bulldoze anybody who's in there, and then you fall on your back and say foul. Could this have been a foul shout? Maybe.
I think she bumped into her own player.
And even if through VAR, I don't think that would have been overturned. But you go down 3-0, like after showing and being that team that you were up in LA and you were gloating, you were happy about it. You were like, "Yep." After the match, just
You gotta back it up.
Yeah, you gotta back it up as well. So
And it's a long season for sure.
got punched in
but-
the mouth here.
Yeah, for sure. But again, like that's back-to-back games where in 2 games you've allowed 6 goals already.
Mm-hmm.
For a team to be known to be defensively very solid, you've allowed 10 goals in 6 games now. That's not the San Diego way that we saw last season. It's so easy to fall on the table and get back up with 3 points and going back-to-back losses. Now they went from literally first place, second place to 5th place. So ideally, you want to make sure you get the next game in another away game. They're going on a away stretch with 3 back-to-back away games.
So San Diego's going to be starved for soccer for a little bit after this match between San Diego Loyal and what's that, RGV. So
Yeah, that's the only home game for Loyal.
and
in
then people
May.
are going to be like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to get back out there." I want the same energy in July and August when everybody's back to back home
Yeah,
matches.
for
Like
sure.
I want that same energy. So
Yeah, so they're going to play against Casey Curran, who aren't doing that well either. Their 9 plays, they have 2 wins, 4 losses. But it's just like Alan mentioned about the West in the USL, right? You can't think it's an easy game. They thought it could be an easy game against Orlando Pride. They're only scoring one goal in the season, and they scored 3 on you. So anything could happen. Hopefully, they manage to get a win. I do think they can if Emily Van Egmond is able to come back.
Mhm.
I think they can win the game. It's going to be Sunday, May 14th at 3 p.m. Make sure you check that out. There's probably a watch party if you're interested in attending the watch parties for San Diego Wave. Stay tuned. Jerry Jimenez, the boy, tends to
da boy.
put on a good showing. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to mention about Wave? We're going to be talking to Casey Stoney.
Yeah, well, and
on
Amira
Wednesday.
Ali, I believe. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything people want to know, let us know. We
'Cause the
might
thing
be
is-
able to ask her.
If it's going to be like this, Tony, and they're not going to be playing this well with essentially a lot of the starters, comes the Women's World Cup, it's going to be bad. Because you're going to lose Van Egmond, you're going to lose Sheridan, you're going to lose Alex
Yeah.
Morgan, you're going to lose Taylor Cornier, you're going to lose Girma. Who knows if Jaden Shaw makes the call up, and if that's the case, you're in trouble. To the point where you're going to rely on Barcenas, a 15-year-old?
Hey man, I mean it's possible, right? She can light it up. We've seen Mbappe light it up, and you know
Yeah, no,
I'm
for sure.
I'm hearing really good things about Melanie Barcenas, and I think she showed it for a couple minutes when she debuted. But yeah, that's
And
what
she
we-
got a minute in this game as well.
yeah, NWSL. I mean, coming in powerful. It's crazy how this is here. Maybe paired with MLS. Watch, it's like a San Diego Wave. The first time where, you know how it's like Chelsea, Arsenal, women's team, right? The first time that it's the other way, where a women's team is first, MLS comes in and they're like, "We're the San Diego Wave too." That'd be pretty cool.
Or something beach related. That'd be cool.
No,
I mean, it'd be
I'm-
smart.
I'm done. Beach related. Shout out San Diego Alta. That's a cool little name. That
You don't like the beach, that's why.
I love the beach. What's wrong with you? I'm insulted.
You love the beach?
I love the beach.
I've
like-
never seen you go to the beach.
Why would you see me go to the beach?
I've never heard of you. Oh yeah, I'm going to the beach. Like
I'm
in
not-
the 3
'cause you're not
years.
going with me.
Yeah, but you've never mentioned that. What? I don't.
Yeah.
You take off your shirt?
La Jolla Shores. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm at the beach. What's wrong with you?
What do you do there?
I swim. Bro, I'm in the water. Oh, if you think I'm an athlete on land, oh, I look like a walrus in the water, just gliding, just
I can't.
Powerfully.
You build sandcastles and stuff like that.
no. What? No.
You just go get in
I'm
the
not a
water.
child. I go splishy splashy with the waves. All right.
Nice. That's cool.
San Diego Wave.
You don't get in this ocean.
Imperial Beach? Nope. I do not trust that water. Neither should anybody. Yeah, please don't. La
I
Jolla
know.
Shores, that's where it's at. Let's use that tax bracket's beaches is what I say.
I like that.
Black's Beach.
Well, that's what we have for local soccer, but we do want to get into Champions League because we have semifinals this week. I think the champions come out of the game from tomorrow, Man City or Real Madrid. I think So Wayne Rooney ended up saying that
Who?
Wayne Rooney, you know Wayne Rooney,
Never heard of
DC
him.
United legend.
Never heard of him.
Oh man, we're gonna have to get very much in touch with our MLS history once we have.
Oh, DC United legend Wayne Rooney.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
him.
How could I?
He's him.
He is Himothy.
He said it's not a matter of whether Man City's gonna win; it's a matter that they're gonna destroy Real Madrid. Which, do you agree with that? Do you think Man City can destroy?
They
Real Madrid?
can. They can, but will they? I don't know. Real Madrid is a very tough team, and that's their tournament. Like that's if you're gonna the Champions League goes through Madrid, Real. That is, not those filthy wannabes at Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Real Madrid, you can't rule them out of Champions League, and we've said this over and over and over. It's the reason why they won back to back Champions League. Like, it's amazing what they're able to do in this tournament. But Haaland and the power that De Bruyne has and the brain of Guardiola, they already overtook Arsenal in the Premier League. You're what?
They're gonna win a treble.
No, they're not.
They're gonna win a treble.
Because Man U is gonna win the FA Cup.
Puta madre. That's what you're banking on them not winning the treble?
Yeah.
Man U? You're leaving it up to Man U.
Uh-huh.
Not Real Madrid.
Yes.
Not Real Madrid.
No.
Not
Man U is going to keep City from winning a treble. Mark my words. This away game. It is at Santiago Bernabeu first. We have seen Man City destroy Real Madrid and then Madrid just make a comeback at the end with literally at the 89th minute. They had a 1% chance of advancing to the final. And what happens? Rodrigo scores the tying goal and then goes to extra time. And Benzema gets a penalty. It's going to be a great one to watch. But then you also have Milan against Inter. Which is, I mean, when was the last time you saw them facing in a semifinal?
As
Milan derby.
a person who loves old school shit, I love me a good old fashioned Inter versus AC Milan. Like that is awesome. Much like, you know what, congratulations Napoli and all their celebrations. Like I love seeing that. But I mean, it's one of these things where I'm just here as super neutral and I just want to see chaos.
Yeah.
I want to see all out Italian just shithousery, all out
It's the history between both of these
just
clubs.
everything
Like you don't have to travel for the away game. You're playing it in your city regardless. It's if you've been following soccer and football for years, you know the rivalry between these clubs. It's a derby, right? And you don't get this too often in a Champions League. We've seen it with Barca and against Real Madrid. We've seen it, we've seen Clásicos. We've seen other games like that. But there's something about a Milan derby that's different, right? Where it's going to be that aggressive style. Va a haber sangre, va a haber patadas.
I hope there's blood. Like I hope there's like people just.
And you know what? I hope one of these teams ends up winning it. Like I think
me too.
over the last couple years, everyone disregarded what the Serie A has produced.
Yeah.
And it's been up and coming where they're like, you know what? We're producing talent. We're producing great soccer. Like Napoli just became champions for that they haven't won in 33 years.
And they're not in the Champions League final. Like that tends to happen, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you have these two teams. I mean, you have Juventus jumping from like 12th place to third because they didn't end up getting sanctioning and they got those 15 points back. So wild shit happens in this city. It's always been a very physical league. And players have said that before, right? Where you go to the Premier League, it's very physical, but you go to the Serie A, that's where it literally is like no blood, no foul type of games. So that is going to be very exciting. So you think City ends up winning against Madrid tomorrow?
I think so.
And then who takes Milan and Inter?
That's going to be a tie.
It's going to be a tie. The
This first one leg.
Who advances to the final? What's the final for you?
Did you know Zlatan doesn't get a ring if AC Milan gets it? He doesn't. He's not on the championship team. So he technically wouldn't win
A Champions League.
the Champions League.
Shit.
He's not on that roster.
Shit.
That
yeah,
was my
that's
only
right,
thing
that's
for Zlatan. Like I wanted them to win it for Zlatan, but he's not going to win it.
Mhm.
He doesn't get the prize. He doesn't get that star. I do like Inter team. Like Inter is I used to play for a team in Mexico. We were called Liverpool, but had the Inter old school blue and
Yeah.
the Ronaldo jersey. So
Something about the Checo. Checo just always being in a competitive team. Like
That's
he's
crazy.
always up there, and you don't consider him as like people don't consider him as one of the best strikers in the world, but he's been at it for a while.
I mean Lukaku, like damn,
Lukaku, Lautaro.
it's a really good team. Fucking Giroud, the greatest Chelsea striker of all time. Like, oh man, it's gonna be a really good match. But I think I want the Inter to kind of take that over.
I got Milan. I got AC Milan.
Okay.
I got a Man City. Fuck, I don't want to say Man City goes to the final, but I think they are. I think they are gonna face AC Milan in the final, and then I think there's no competition there.
And there's just no contest.
Yeah.
Esteban says 3-1 Madrid win. All right. Said Madrid Milan final.
Oh, my boy Isaac. It's my
Madrid
boy.
beat City
He's a
2-0 tomorrow.
he's a big Madrid fan. I can see Madrid
Jaja
winning it.
Madrid.
I can see Madrid taking it at Bernabeu. Anything happens, it's gonna be an exciting game for sure. But Man City don't have much to worry about anymore. They're already clear in the Premier League. They don't have the toughest schedule anymore. Haaland breaking the Premier League record.
They got away with it again. They're getting away with it. They can't keep getting away with this. But yeah,
I'm a strong believer money doesn't buy you Champions Leagues, but I don't know about this year. They could very much get their first Champions League. Pep Guardiola hasn't won one in how long? Since Barcelona. So we shall see what happens. Is there anything else, Tony, you want to add?
Chelsea won.
Ganó el Chelsea, güey. Man, you lost.
Our teams suck in Europe.
My team won a trophy already.
You pretty much got relegated to, like us.
Since you want to play a game,
Why not?
I'm down.
Should
Very
we do?
much down. Which one? We haven't
Should we
done one
do?
of these in a long time.
Guess the
Oh,
nationality,
no.
jersey number.
No, that can get us in trouble.
This
Oh, whoa, you guessed the player. Oh, I'm down for that.
one?
On top.
This one?
I'm down for that.
All right. So this is.
Are we going back and forth? Like,
I don't know.
that's usually how we do it.
Sure. Who goes first?
You can go first.
Cool. If you're here.
Wait, what are we betting? Are we betting something?
Should you just give away the Kempen jersey?
Let's save it. Let's save
it.
Maybe for episode 175.
I get to flick you in the nuts.
No.
Okay.
No.
You get to flick me in the nut.
The winner chooses who does the wave presser on Wednesday.
Okay, that's fair.
It's fair.
Say that again.
The winner chooses
Mm-hmm.
who does the wave presser
Got
on
it.
Wednesday.
Got it.
So you can choose yourself. You can choose me
Okay.
to do it if you win.
Cool.
It has to be one of us to do it.
Who's
You're
going
not-
first?
You're not gonna have some random person do it.
Okay. Hey guys, you guys want to talk to Casey Stoney?
You can go first.
I know I can, but you're going first.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I won the last game we did.
Comment your results at the
So guess the player by nationality plus club plus jersey number.
end of the video.
2023
Let's get
edition.
started. First question.
Ansu Fati.
Spain, number 10, Barcelona. Really?
Yeah. I sure hope so.
Question.
Liverpool nationality, Portuguese, number 20, Diogo Jota.
Yep. That one, right?
I'm actually pretty nervous about this.
Oh yeah, it's
I don't think I'm going to do
right,
so
yeah,
well.
yeah.
French, Paris, number 44. Number
Shit.
44.
I'm not too sure. Kimpembe. No, not Kimpembe. I don't. Who's this?
Bro, it's Hugo Ekitike.
I didn't know that one. I haven't been following PSG.
Portuguese, Arsenal, number 21. I see him. He's a
Oh man.
Fabio Vieira.
All right.
Who's keeping score, by the way?
I'm keeping score. 95. Shit.
Come on, there's the Champions League semifinal.
Bellari.
Bastoni, boy, this is hard.
Shit, it is. It is. We look bad. We just look bad.
El pinche paraguayo.
Player is
El pinche paraguayo, güey.
Damn,
Almirón,
I'm upset
güey.
you didn't get this one.
the correct
Damn.
option.
The pie.
Damn. Okay. You get the easy ones.
You know who's really good at this one? 619 Soccer.
French, number
Ah.
4. Jersey, 4. Oh my God, se me acaba de ir. Oh my God.
Se le fue. Es tu equipo,
But de
güey.
Chile.
Player.
Oh no. Puta madre.
El portero?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. What's his name? Ramsdale?
Ramsdale.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Fuck.
Whew.
Question
Wow.
10.
99 Napoli. No es ese güey.
The
Es el
correct
otro güey.
alternative is
A la madre.
What's up with this? Okay, a ver. Cabrón.
Is this
31.
Chilwell?
Nope.
Ah, madre.
Madueque.
what
No,
is
this is
the
a hard one.
correct answer?
Oh.
He's number 7. It's 19 from.
correct
Oh my
answer
God, we're
is-
sucking at this.
I was going to say Nacho. Oh, Ceballos.
Ceballos.
And they're giving pretty tough players, though.
They really are. The 32 Italian from Inter. Come on, boy.
answer is-
Bellari, Bellostri, something. Di Marco.
We are focusing so much.
In local soccer.
in
This
local
one's
soccer.
easy.
Gabriel. It's not Jesus. Es el otro güey.
¿Cómo se llama?
No, Martinelli. Yeah.
You
come
got
on. No,
Gabriel. I'm going to give you
yeah.
that. I'm going to give you that. Oh, that's Pelistri. The only Uruguayan player we have.
Yeah.
Morita. This was good, though.
What's the next one?
Ah,
Number 6, Verratti from PSG, Italian. Yeah,
I
of
get the
course.
easy ones.
That one's a hard one. Sorry.
Oh, the
Toscano,
Madrid
Ceballos.
fans
Everybody's
answering
like, oh,
the Madrid
Ceballos.
ones. Oh, that's McTominay.
McTominay, you
The
say.
hidden player is
What an ugly number 39.
I know. He doesn't start.
guess the following question.
Is it just Banca?
Ooh, 24, Barca, Spanish.
Ferran Torres.
Is it?
No. Eddie
Eddie
Garcia. What a
damn.
Mexican sounding name.
I was about to say Salah just because I'm Egyptian.
That is offensive. You can't say that,
Fuck,
sir.
what's this guy's name? I don't know this one. El Neni.
El Neni.
El Neni.
Oh, the boy. Rodri, boy.
No, David Silva.
David Silva. Wait, yeah, David Silva from Manchester City.
Ah, you got it wrong!
He is 14. That's right. He's not French. Oh, this is horseshit.
Sasensi? No.
I will give it to you just because it was a fun.
The goalie? Oh, no.
No.
Milik.
Milik.
Chetos.
Choose the correct option.
These are hard. Matip.
I think you're right, yeah.
Matip. I know him from Schalke.
John Stones.
Pendejadas, güey. I get Matip, you get John Stones.
Matip was not that hard.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it wasn't.
Come on now.
No.
Joel? Who name is Joel Matip?
Now
Matip.
we continue with the next question.
Ah, this one's easy.
Mario Götze. No, es el morro, güey. ¿Cómo se llama el morro?
Brandt. Julian Brandt.
Julian Brandt, legend. A ver, pues. Bien curada.
Is this Chilwell now?
A ver, pues. Number 22.
I'm gonna go with Chilwell.
Until it is.
Reece James. Reece James.
Gallagher.
Motherfucker. Güey, ¿cuántos tienen, güey? Ah.
Osimhen.
Güey, Güey, ¿cuántos jugadores tienen, güey?
Osimhen. We signed everybody. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
like-
people forgot. Like, everybody was hurt. That's why
I
we
thought that
sucked.
was Reece James.
Ooh.
17. Is this James Milner?
Soon to be former Liverpool.
The answer is
Is it? Fuck, it's Curtis Jones. Motherfucker.
Hey, Isaac
dude.
Esteban, thank you for playing. Okay, this has to be fucking Rodri.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Has to be.
Emerick Laporte again.
Rodrigo. We're tied up.
39. France. Bayern München.
Fuck. Pavard.
The hidden player is
You're a Pavard.
Tell.
Yeah, bro.
Mathis
Mathis
Tel?
Tell, bro. Curtis Jones. Oh, bro. Thorgan Hazard, bro. Come on. Next. Come on. Thorgan Hazard, bro. Batshuayi, boy.
Who the fuck is 82 at Manchester City, güey?
Oh, what's the difficulty on this? Like, can we turn this shit down?
Who's 82 fucking
Bro, come on. How do you not know it's Rico Lewis? Look at that
Es el
guy.
defensa, güey.
have you got right?
Not a lot. 88 for Benfica? Wait. Who is 88 for Benfica?
Es el Guedes.
Guedes.
Gonzalo
Gonzalo
Ramos.
Ramos. Oh,
Ben
Didier
Chula.
Drogba. güey.
Is it Aubameyang?
No.
It's not Aubameyang, huh?
Alternative is
Fuck.
Come on, bro. Cote d'Ivoire, bro. Fofana.
bro.
One
I
of the
don't
two
follow
Fofanas.
Chelsea.
response to.
Jack Grealish, bro. I don't know.
I would guess Declan Rice.
¿Cómo se llama este güey?
¿Me lo das?
No.
No te lo voy a dar a ti. El Shaarawy.
That was still there. That's wild.
Please tell me it's El Shaarawy.
It has to be. Yeah,
Has
it
to be,
is.
right?
Yeah.
The correct answer
Please tell me it's El
is
Shaarawy. I'm gonna
I
be
just keep
sad.
looking and just see
Okay,
Curtis
cool.
Jones. Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones. It's always Curtis Jones.
Oh, who's this, boys?
Arnautovic. Sabitzer. Marcel
Ah, you-
Sabitzer.
Oh, the fuck.
I always get Marcel Sabitzer.
We're tied 7-7. Ukrainian 13 for Real Madrid. Isaac, help me out.
Por Ucrania.
answer
I don't know
is
this guy.
Shevchenko, güey.
Lunin es portero, güey. ¿Qué
Yeah,
pedo?
it's actually the backup.
answer the bonus question.
Paraguayo. Oh, this is the bonus questions. It doesn't matter. Okay. No sé, José Saturnino Cadroso.
No, the last one.
Enciso.
This one's in a bonus. Oh wait, this is James Milner.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's horseshit. This is how it sounds.
Answer is
This is really bullshit. That's how it sounds.
Oh my god, I'm up by one.
secret question.
You get this one, I'll give it to you. Who's this? They won't
Sane.
tell you. You're going with Sane.
Yeah.
They won't give you the answer. Look up number 6 for Bayern Munich. You got it wrong.
Don't forget.
Oh, it's Leon Goretzka.
No, you got it wrong. It's Kimmich.
Yeah, it's
I won.
Kimmich. I won.
I won.
I win.
I won.
I win. Victory. Flawless victory.
Thank you guys for watching, staying with us.
We're gonna keep looking into getting people from MLS
Yeah.
on here to talk. We're trying to get book people to sit in this chair tomorrow. Kevin will be sitting here live at 7 p.m. 2 balls and a mic. Chelas con Chavos with the president of the Chavos del Hoyo. Thank you for everybody stuck along all this time. Remember, be a friend, tell a friend, tell them to subscribe. That'll help us and show MLS that if credential
The
us if
greatest
they do
soccer
come
podcast
over.
in San Diego.
The best soccer podcast in San Diego, best soccer media outlet in San Diego.
La madre, estás bien guapo, güey. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, share it. Love every single one of you. Say bye, Tony.